Welcome back to Father Baker Today. I'm Kevin Sylvester. We've taken the time this morning to tell you a little bit about the legacy of Father Baker. Now it continues today through immigration and refugee resettlement efforts here in Buffalo. Both Catholic Charities and the International Institute of Buffalo share this mission. And joining me now to continue our conversation, Sister Norma Pimentel, Steve Schumer, this is Deacon Steve Schumer from Catholic Charities, and join us now Jennifer Rizzo-Choi from the International Institute of Buffalo. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you.
And please tell us about the people that you help with the International Institute of Buffalo and how they find you.
Sure. Well, the International Institute's been around for 100 years. We've always been an organization that welcomes immigrants. And in recent years, since the 70s and 80s, we started doing refugee resettlement as well, which is a common shared interest with Catholic Charities. There's actually 4 resettlement agencies in Buffalo. So a lot of the clients that we get are folks who have run from with their home countries because they've experienced persecution. They ended up in a refugee camp overseas, and then through a whole process, they get resettled here to Buffalo. So we get a lot of different clients, 10 different populations at least that we're serving annually. And then there are other kinds of immigrants as well that are in Buffalo, some who arrive here on their own accord and then have to turn around and seek asylum.
And it sounds like there's a lot in the process there. Sister Norma, what is the responsibility, what are the responsibilities of Catholic Charities with refugee resettlement?
Well, the important thing is to make sure we put them in contact with agencies like Jennifer just described, because that's what they need to be able to follow up in their process so that they have a chance to truly establish a good immigration process that will help them speak up and show their credibility for fear and why they're here.
Deacon Steve, can you explain some of the programs and services that Catholic Charities provides to these refugees to help put them in touch with the International Institute?
Absolutely. As you can imagine, English language is a challenge for many of the folks. So not only Catholic Charities, but all the resettlement agencies provide English as a second language training. We also need to make sure that their medical needs are cared for and just the basic necessities of life, food, housing, employment, so these folks can integrate into society quickly and begin to earn an income to provide for their families.
Jennifer, can you explain the impact in the community, what these refugees and folks resettled here, what they bring to our community?
Absolutely. We are so diverse and rich here in Buffalo, and we're so lucky. In fact, for the first time in decades, Buffalo's population has grown, and it's because of all of the newcomers that we're welcoming in. And while people may come from different walks of life, whether they're a refugee or they're an asylum seeker, or now we're actually getting a group of people coming in that are evacuees from Afghanistan, they're bringing so much to us. Deacon Steve earlier talked about joining our workforce. We're getting a lot of cultural diversity and richness. There's so many different foods that you can sample here. Our schools are definitely becoming more diverse with the kinds of kids that we're bringing in, different cultures and perspectives. It's really been a great thing for Buffalo that we've reversed our population growth and that we're heading toward a great future.
Sister Norma, can you talk about how lives have been impacted by programs like this?
Well, I think what I see is the families that I see at the border and then move on to places like Buffalo. It's so beautiful to see how they're integrated and brought to, because they really miss all their culture, all that support system they had back home. And so all of a sudden they find themselves alone. But through efforts like what Jennifer just described and Deacon, they actually are integrated into the community and feel welcomed. And I think, if anything, that's what our Holy Father is asking us to make sure we do to the many of our brothers and sisters that we find ourselves in that situation.
And Deacon, there's probably so many success stories every day, right?
I am so inspired when I meet with people who have been resettled here in our community, and they tell me the stories of how their lives have been successful, how their children are growing. I met a woman yesterday whose daughter is graduating from the West Point Military Academy. It's just so inspiring, really, to see how people are flourishing and really adding to the fabric of Western New York.
Yeah. So
most definitely, and it brings joy to our hearts just to see success stories like that, and to really thank God for the fact that we can do so much good.
Yeah, it's uplifting to hear, for sure, too. It's what America's about, too. Thank you all for sharing the stories and the great work that's being done here in Western New York and in the Rio Grande Valley, where Sister Norma is head of Catholic Charities down there. We still have more to come here on the show and so much more to learn about the important work being done in our communities. If you'd like to learn more about immigrant and refugee resettlement efforts or to donate today, check out the information you see on your screen. When Father Baker Today continues, we'll be highlighting a local refugee and share his story of how Catholic Charities of Buffalo helped him and his family when they moved here to Buffalo. We'll be right back.
This segment of Father Baker Today was sponsored by OLV Charities.